It was all a dream.
So, what would you little maniacs like to do first?
Let's start dreaming.
It alters your life and you never think the same again.
Some dumb thing on the edges of nowhere.
A collection of question marks stuck together into a pit of darkness. No logic, no reason, no explanation.
We can change it anytime we want. It's only a choice between fear and love.
That's just deep, bro. That's deep.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Let's Start Dreaming podcast. I am your co-host, Mikey.
And I'm your co-host, Carson.
And we're back at it again for another episode. This time, we're coming at you as your financial gurus. Not actually, but
yeah, I would call us the farthest thing from financial gurus.
But I want to talk money this episode. Let's talk money, Carson. It's something that people kind of stray to talk about. You know, you can't really ask. It's not societally acceptable to ask somebody how much money they make. But I'll tell you how much money I make right now, right off the bat. I make fucking $930 every 2 weeks, and that's half decent. It's about $20-something thousand a year. I could be making more if I fucking had a real good job, but I have a decent job, and I don't really care. It pays the bills right now. And I'm trying to spend on things that will progress my future forward, hence this mic, this camera, this lighting, this computer. That was a lot.
If I was gonna guesstimate how much I make, because I have no idea how much I make, because it's I have two jobs right now. I work at a warehouse and I work delivering pizzas, and one of those jobs,
my fucking dream job right there.
One of those jobs is consistent. I make $10 an hour, and then at the pizza delivery place, it's totally dependent on my tips. So I would say, if I had to guesstimate, I make $100 there every week just in my paycheck, and then I make probably another 150 to 200 in tips every week, depending on how the week goes. So let's say on the upper end it's 200, 300. I'd say I make 300 a week doing that job.
There you go.
Yeah, and then I have my other job where I make 300 every 2 weeks because I barely even show up to that anymore. So I do all right.
But the main difference, I've never heard your numbers, right?
Yeah.
I'm intrigued that you are able to save as much money as you have, because I haven't, you see.
Well, yeah, you spend money like the shit's about to rot.
I do spend money. And like I said, I like to invest in myself, but I am a little guilty as for buying food and like Uber Eats and shit. I sometimes eat Popeyes every day of the week.
Yeah.
When I don't want to cook. Only because Popeyes is the cheapest shit you can buy for DoorDash. They have no delivery fee, and it's like cheaper than the actual like going in there and getting a meal. So like, of course I'm gonna fucking get it delivered. I'm not gonna spend $20 on McDonald's or Chipotle. Like, fuck that. But that's interesting. Like, good for you for saving like that. I understand the importance of saving. I really, really do, Carson. But like, I don't think scared money makes money. And saving doesn't make it scared money, but like...
No, I would say, because I have saved a pretty significant sum of money in the time that I've been, out of college and working and doing that sort of thing. But I have also been looking at different investment opportunities to put my money into, because the best advice my dad's ever, not the best advice, but like one of the big pieces of advice my dad's ever given me is banks are not your friend. And that's something I can pass on to you as the viewer if you've never had anybody tell you this. Banks are not your friend. They don't care about you. All they care about is their bottom line. They're one of like the 5 categories of company that's the evil monster companies in this country. It's banks, oil companies, insurance companies, Monsanto, and Amazon. Those are the motherfuckers. So banks, they just want to take your money. If you've ever looked at your bank account, if you've ever just like looked at it randomly at a random time and you're like, oh, I had less money than I thought I had. Most people will just look over that and be like, oh, I guess I spent a little bit more money. Sometimes they'll just take your money. Sometimes they'll just random fee. Random $30 fee from the bank. You go to the bank and you say, what the fuck is this shit? And they're like, oh, I'm sorry, let's take that off your account. Well, why was it there in the first place? Oh, I don't know. So you guys have no alert system in place to tell me if you're taking money from me, if you're fucking stealing from me, and you can just do it? You can just do it and you don't feel like bastards? Is that what you're trying to tell me? They do that so much. That's why you got to keep eyes on your account.
I haven't seen that on me. I have Wells Fargo. I've heard there was a lot of sketchy shit about Wells Fargo back in the day, and I heard it's not that good of a company right as of now. That's the only bank I use. But fuck a overdraft fee. I hate that shit. It's just losing money for the sake of losing money. But have you ever had that happen to you? Them take your money?
Yeah, no, but it happens in small increments. They don't do it, big increments at one time. They don't take $500 from you or even $50 a lot of the time, especially if you don't have that much money in the bank. They'll take like $8. They'll take $8 in the form of a random fee, and then you look on the app or on the website, and it shows up as just some random jargon. You can't really make out exactly what the purchase or transaction is. And
I hate that shit. It says like New York City. XYG AFQ.
I think the thing you got to do is dispute as much as you fucking can, because sometimes genuinely you forgot you spent some money. You forgot you bought something online, or you're subscribed to this service and you're like, oh shit, I forgot about that. But sometimes money is just getting taken from you. Banks are not as secure as they like to say they are.
I've never heard this. I mean, it doesn't seem too far-fetched. It doesn't seem out of nowhere. But like,
how do banks make more money than almost any other type of company in this country?
They provide a service that everyone needs.
Yeah, but how do they make money?
I don't know. I don't know. Setting up accounts, overdraft fees. They can't make money like that.
You can't make all their money from overdraft fees.
From the $5, it costs $5 to take money out of this ATM if you're not with us.
Maybe. Yeah, there's those little itty bitty charges here and there, but for the most part, they're just taking money in any way they can find that's legal, that's in some way, shape, or form legal, or even on the line of legal and illegal, just where you won't be able to dispute it, because you can't go up against a bank in a court of law. That's the problem with big companies like banks, is they got all this legal firepower. So if you ever wanted to go against them, you got to really have something. You got to really have something concrete in order to bring it to court. Not saying that it would ever come to that, but they just know they got you by the balls.
You can't bring a bank to the court. You're Joe Schmo, and these guys have millions and billions of dollars.
Exactly.
Oh. Imagine being in the 1920s, putting your whole trust into the bank, and then your bank just fucking fails. Your bank, I don't know if that's exactly how it worked, but
it works like that in the Depression era. Yeah, it worked like that in some cases.
All your life savings just we don't have it.
Yep, it's gone.
That's so fucked up, dude.
Because people have this view of banks that you just put your money in there and it's safe. It's safe in this bank. But your money, they don't have enough money to give to everybody who has money in their bank. They don't have nearly that much. If everybody who banked at my local Wells Fargo went there right now and said, I'd like to clear out my account, if they all came in on the same day and said, I'd like to clear out all the money from my account, they would not have it. They would not have the amount of money that people have in their bank. So they don't have your money because they're giving it to other people. They're using your money to make money. They're giving it out in the form of loans, and they're putting it in investments. They're investing.
Oh, that's how they make their
money.
Loans. Loans. That's how they make their
loans
money.
Is a big part of it. Investments is the other part. They take your money, they invest it into shit, they make money off of it. So they're basically doing something that you could be doing yourself and making money off of your money. That's your money that you could have just been putting into investments yourself, into semi-safe investments like they do. And then you would get that money. You would pocket that money. But instead, you're just kind of giving them free money for no reason.
I'm sure the concept of banking has been around for forever.
Oh, of course it has. I mean, ever since currency has been a thing.
But you make it sound so corrupt, but I guess that's how it really is.
I'm not saying
Carson
it's
said, no, I'm
corrupt.
kidding.
It's corrupt in its ethos, but it is corrupt in the way in the way it happens in this country. I think that if you have a certain amount of money, it's not stupid to put it in a bank, but it's definitely smarter to put some of it in a bank, some of it, and then a lot of it into different investments.
Part of me, in a year ago, my younger self was like, "Fuck a savings account." I still don't have a savings account, but reason being is I wanted to actually invest all the money that I wanted to save into cryptocurrency because I just didn't think it would ever crash, and so like. I know that sounds crazy. I mean, but it's also the stock market is a young person's game, from what I've heard. So,
Well, you don't need to get up in the stock market. You don't need to go around cruising for stocks, because that's the problem with being young and having like very little upfront money. You know, say you only have $10,000. That's not a whole lot of money on the stock market. You can make a whole lot of money off of $10,000 if you know what you're doing, but it's very risky to just put in your whole 10,000 and see what happens with it. So what I've been told by people that know a lot more about this than I do, is if you put in, let's say 6,000 out of that 10,000 and you diversify into different investments, into different things that could potentially make money, and you keep an eye on them. Don't keep a constant eye on them, because then you'll freak yourself the fuck out. If you put your money into one company and then you check it every single day, and then you see one day that it's down, you'll panic and then take it out, and then you just lost money for no reason. Well, maybe that was right on its way back up and you were about to make money in 2 weeks. You know, you can't check. You just have to look at the trends, not the everyday exactly what's happening with it. It's a really complicated game. It's not even that complicated, but it's overcomplicated so that quote unquote normal people will be too scared to get into it.
I got money in Tesla. Yo, actually, that reminds me. I had a kid in my class, one of my communications class, or I don't even know what fucking class it was, but he was going to college, and he wanted to be a trip, kind of like a vacation trip advisor, like in Hawaii, like a
Yeah.
trip guide, a tour guide, because he had already made his money in the stock market. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And this fucking 18-year-old, 19-year-old kid's fucking loaded because of himself, self-made. And like, oh, well, I'm just going to spend the rest of my fucking life, my career in fucking Hawaii just becoming a tour guide. Like, hello, that's fucking cool as hell. I didn't ask him how to do the stock market because, I don't know, that did not interest me at the time. But
it's
yeah,
one of those things that just requires, I think, commitment. And it's commitment I personally, I don't have. Like, I'm not trying to front here like I'm some master of money. I'm not. I'm just... more
you
recently,
sounded like it.
Well, more recently in my life, I've just gotten more serious about what to do financially. I've taken that a bit more seriously, but I don't know, man. Like, I am not a master of economics. I don't really know shit about economics. I don't know shit about the stock market. I just know that there is a way to game it in your favor. That's not really that hard.
Yeah, I have no clue what's going on too much. The only time I've really been investing was when crypto was just booming, and I saw on TikTok that this one stock was going to come up, and so I invested in it, and it did go up from fucking $14 to $80. I was like, holy shit, I wish I put more in there, but I didn't. And I didn't actually make too much money off of that because I just held on to it too long, and it eventually went down. But Carson, I think something that everyone needs to get into is credit and credit cards. Reason being is because you literally get paid to spend money.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're much like myself, I was like, fuck that, I'll never get a credit card. I don't need a credit card because that's just money I don't have. The money I don't need to spend. But no. You just treat it like a debit card, but you get money back.
Yeah.
It's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And Carson, you need a credit card.
Yeah, no, I'm going to get
You
a credit
need it.
card. Well, I'm going to get one at some point. It's not something that's really come across my plate at this point, but I understand the benefits of a credit card, because if you don't overspend, if you don't spend more money than you actually have, because that's everybody's fear. That's always been my fear, and like you just kind of mentioned, was your initial fear with it, is that, oh man, it's going to trick me into spending more than I have. No, like if you just pay back the debts on time, if you just pay back what you owe on time every time, then they can't fuck with you.
Well, what's crazy to me is how businesses use credit cards for just like their supplies and shit. And they like obviously they need to spend that money to get the supplies, but like they make the money. They get fucking like what 2% off of everything they purchase back, or like they get miles, or they get Amazon dollars. Like what the fuck? Like this guy came to my work. He's like, yeah, like I was like, oh, this is an American Express something, and he's like, or an Amazon gift card or a credit card, and he's like, yeah, I have like $6,000 in Amazon. And I'm like, holy fuck, that's like the next like fucking 5 years in groceries that you could pay off at Amazon. Like shit. Like wow, that's some smart spending right there. Fuck, dude. Okay, so I make $16 an hour,
Right.
which I think, or $16.50 an hour, which I think is all right. And now many of you might think it's a lot. Many of you might think it's not that much. I think my time is worth a lot more than $16.50 an hour. And I don't really fucking like getting paid $16.50 an hour, even though I'm cool with it. I'm 100% cool with it. I don't get paid enough to stress the way I do. Do you see the hair on my? Do you see this spot? This stress spot on my hair right now? It's called alopecia. Some say it's caused from stress. Do not get paid enough to stress out, like I just said. It's so fucking stupid. Oh my god, my bosses will be going like on a fucking rant. I'll be ordering some food at 11:30 because they make me take my lunch at 12, and it's like 11:05. And like, oh, where is it? 11, and like I can't. That's not in my control, people. My food coming is not in my control. And then I'm just fucking stress. And my boss gives me that passive aggressive look and like barely says a few words because she's kind of mad on the inside, I think. Oh my god, it's so fucking stupid. What's your job like? You got any stress like that?
Yeah, my warehouse job was stressful for a while because I was not getting paid. I'm still not getting paid what I think I deserve.
What? Oh.
No, I'm getting paid. I'm getting money.
I was like, huh?
I'm not just showing up for the fuck of it. No, I'm getting.
That's the thing. I'm not here to fucking have fun. I'm here to get paid, motherfuckers.
Right. And I kind of bring that attitude to work at this point. It's like, look, I'm here to show up, make my money, and get out. At first I was really just over the top about like, I'm gonna do everything. I'm gonna go, to the next 3 tasks that I have to do. I'm gonna go the extra mile every single time to try to try to kill this job. And I just naturally have that that feeling with jobs is I want to do the best I possibly can. And I still feel that way about this job, even though I'm still not getting paid what I think I deserve. But I don't stress when like my boss is mad at me or like when shit's going wrong. I'm like, hey, if I quit this tomorrow, I could find another job the next day that paid me more or the same. It's not like this is life or death. I've kind of transcended that stress level because who gives a fuck? And my other job, it's a pizza place and I deliver pizzas and it gets stressful from time to time. But my boss is also somebody I see every day and I talk to. And it's just a better vibe in there. It's a way better vibe because if it's stressful, everybody's stressed. We're all stressed. We're all going through it. So there's no need to be mad at anybody. If somebody fucks up, all right, they fucked up. We'll just move on.
When my lady boss isn't there, there's such a veil lifted from my like entire being. It's just like, there's nothing to worry about. And I don't stress like actively stressing, but there are stressful moments. I think I'm very spoiled from my work experience because when I was 18, I was making $20, $25 an hour from
Was that tips or was that your salary?
Salary plus tips,
right?
Or hourly plus tips. I was making $8.50 an hour, but it was a bougie coffee shop, and so I would make like $8 an hour plus 15 an hour in tips. Like it was a very high end coffee shop, and so literally I loved that job. Reason being, I got to smile, I got to compliment people, spread kindness, spread happiness, spread smiles, and I got paid to do it, and I got to eat for free, and I got to bring home pastries, and I got to drink coffee and drink tea for free. It was the move, and I got really spoiled. because I was making a lot of money, and now I have to actually like work a lot to make a decent amount. Like that's the thing too, though. I wouldn't mind quitting this job, honestly. Like,
Well,
part of
let
me is
me
always
let me
just
ask
like,
you something. You mentioned
I think about
earlier.
it a lot.
You mentioned earlier. You said I don't feel like I'm getting paid what I'm worth. What is the dollar figure? What do you think you just who you are hourly? Your time is worth.
$22.
Really?
Yes.
Eh,
Because I've
fair
made it
enough.
before. I've made it before, and I'll make it again. And that doesn't make any sense, though, does it?
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't. I don't have
No.
any education. I have 2 years of college, actually, a high school diploma. What do you feel your time is worth? I always see you. I always see people that aren't making that much, and I'm just like, I know your time is worth more. I know it is. You just need to realize that too. And I like that. That's the thing. I could never settle at a job that I will get paid anything less than $15. I have never made less than $15. I don't think, even starting out. Like I made okay. My first job I made $7 an hour, $7.25 an hour, but plus tips. So that was always like 10 to 15 to maybe 17 on a good day. So I can't say I started making 15 from the get go, but I was making more than minimum wage from the get go, more than $10 from the get go, plus tips. We're talking plus tips. So like, we have a friend V. Let's call her V, and she's been working the same job for like 3 years, and I know she makes fucking $7.25 an hour, and I'm just like, there is no way in God's green earth I could ever do that, because the time I spend in that
3
the time I would
years and
spend,
she's still making that?
well, maybe like a
Well, I
dollar
mean,
raise
it's like it's
after
9
3 years.
now. It's 9 now. So
Yeah, but like, yeah, like that's the thing. Like, oh, I've been working here for like 3 years. They giving me raises like every 6 months. I'm like, yeah, fucking 25 cents. Like, congratulations. And I'm not to discredit that, but like how I see it is that literally I could be at that job, or I could be at a different job, put the same amount of hours in, and literally get paid double because it's just a different employer. Like, that's what gets me, is that if you like just working for half of what you could be working for, that destroys me on the inside. Cause like, yeah, no, it's not my. This shit is not my career. This will never be my career.
well,
And
see,
if it
that's
is,
the thing that makes me okay with making not as much money is if I made, let's say I made $25 an hour at a shitty job like I have now, like at this warehouse job, I would stay there. Like I've already stayed there a ungodly long time. I would stay there way too long. I probably wouldn't have gone back to school. I'm going back to school right now, and I probably wouldn't have made that move if I was making that kind of money, because I'd be like, oh, this is fine. This is fine. I'm making enough money.
Yeah.
It allows me to see where I'm at in a real sense. Like, look, I am not where I want to be. It won't give me this false illusion of, okay, I can just do this forever, because I don't want to do this forever. Money can get in the way of your dreams if there's enough of it.
hey, I hear you. That provides a false sense of contentment.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
There's a thing though, is that like some people's dreams is money, and there's nothing wrong with that. But like, I'm at my 9 to 5. First of all, I said when I was like in high school, I said if I'm ever in a 9 to 5, I'm gonna kill myself, because I really never wanted to work a 9 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
And lo and behold, I've been here for 10 months, and it feels like I blinked my eyes and it's already been 10 months past, and it's fucking mind blowing how I sit there for 8 hours a day, do my work, which is fucking borderline meaningless to me, and then go home and get paid every 2 weeks. Like, fuck this. Props to anyone that can do this for however many years they do it on end. Like, how can you be happy? Okay, and I'm not there to judge.
Just be another fucking cog in the machine.
I mean, maybe if I was a higher up, like, hopefully the owners find some fulfillment, or like the higher ups find some fulfillment, because it's a glass company, right? So we help people, like, we supply glass to buildings and builders and fucking $1 million apartment complexes, right? Maybe they really truly do like to build or be the glass distributor for complex.
I think that there's certain, in every industry, there's jobs that I would say suck, and then there's jobs that I would say are pretty cool. Like I work at a farm supply warehouse, right? So we got horse feed, we got fucking fertilizers, we got grass seed, shit like that. And I just lift the heavy bags and put them in people's cars and trucks, and I drive around and I deliver horse feed to stables. That's the type of shit I'm doing. And I find it pretty meaningless. Not meaningless because I know what I'm doing is a necessary thing, but I just don't find I don't get anything out of it. Now, there are people at this company that are salespeople that go seek out clients and go find new properties to enter and to sell them grass seed, sell them fertilizer, sell them shit. I see that job seems like I could find some happiness in it. Because I mean, I'm not saying that's what I want to do for the rest of my life, specifically that, but I think in any major company or in any type of operation, there is something there that personally I could find some joy in.
That brings me back to when you said you're the pizza delivery guy, dude. I really fucking wanted to be a pizza delivery guy for so long. Because, like, I would have loved to just smoke weed while I drive, listen to music, deliver pizza, and eat pizza. Like teenage me is like, holy fuck, that's the greatest job ever. I get to pull jeeps, listen to music, and drive. But, like, I can't smoke weed now, so I can't do that. So kind of like the whole idea of being a pizza guy in my mind is dissolved.
I started this job as a weed smoker. I remember the day I got arrested, I was supposed to go into work, and the cops took my phone. I was supposed to be there in an hour. I got arrested. Cops took my phone away from me. I'm sitting in the holding cell looking at the clock being like, I gotta call these guys. Like they're not gonna, like, they don't know that I'm arrested right now and that I can't come in. So I'm just asking every cop that walks by. I'm like, hey, could I get my phone back? I just need to make a call. Please, I just need to make a call. Eventually they let me, at around like an hour after my shift was supposed to start. My phone is blown up. And but luckily I had gotten there, like, I get to that job 15 minutes early every single shift. So they were like, this seems out of character. What the fuck is going on? And when I called them and I let them know what was going on, they were like, oh shit, that sucks. Like, come back in tomorrow, whatever. And but I started it out as a weed smoker, and it is not as cool of a job when you smoke weed.
Well, you know what? One thing I've noticed about not police officers, fucking pizza drivers, is that they always are the most angriest people, in my opinion. Like, sometimes, like, they can be the most angriest people.
Really? That's
because of just tippers and bad tippers. Like, pizza delivery people are like the only people I ever hear just getting so angry. And yeah, I know that getting tipped on a delivery is a good chunk of the money you make. I understand that. But, like, damn, like, there's so much hostility. Yo, I now that I'm thinking about it too, I think there's a lot more job opportunities where I'm at compared to yours, where you're at. I'm in Northern Virginia. There's a lot more money being spent.
There's more money.
Made.
There's more money. It's also a higher cost of living.
That too. The housing is fucking absurd up here. Like, I went down to Carson's place. You could get like a fucking mansion and like 3 acres for like $400,000, and like up here that'll get you like
I don't know
shack.
about a mansion 3 acres for $400K.
A big ass house.
You can get a big ass house in a suburban neighborhood for $400,000.
For 500, yeah, 500,000. For 500,000 in my city, you will get. It would be a tiny house with like a fucking quarter acre, maybe a quarter acre if that. But the job I had before this job, I was a server at a country club, and they had a 20% gratuity on each bill, no matter what. So they're like. That was a cool job because, like, the security and that, like, making money every single table, you don't have to worry about bad tippers, was fucking cool. And it was so crazy too, because when I got there, I thought this caliber of staff would be like crazy. I had just come back from one of the most notorious restaurants for being notorious for customer service. I had just quit my job there, going to this country club, and I was expecting like some fucking top end, like high level servers, and then I get there and it's all fucking high schoolers and college kids who like barely give a fuck. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
And the little like 17, 16, 17, 18-year-old, 15-year-old servers, waitresses who are also serving alcohol under the pouring serving alcohol, which is completely illegal. were making the most money because they were these cute little girls serving alcohol to these rich drunk pricks. Like, oh my God, the stories about people like hooking up with some of the members, the underage people hooking up with the members, like what the fuck is going on here?
Oof.
Yeah. But they would make like fucking $200, $400 a shift because they would be the drinks people.
Yeah, no, bartenders in general
400.
can make a ton of money.
They weren't even bartenders though. The thing is like
No,
they
but I'm
had
saying
this-
if you serve people alcohol, you can make a ton of money.
Yeah. They would just bring the drink. The bartender had the worst position because all he did was make the drinks behind the counter for the whole restaurant. Like, I didn't get Cokes. I didn't get Sprites. I asked the bartender, hey, give me a Coke, give me a Sprite. He was literally the drink slave, the drink jockey. And, like, we had a bar that had, like, 5 fucking seats, but, like, you know, everyone's out drinking with the view of the golf course. And these fucking middlemen, little girls, all they had to do was just bring their drinks out or take their drink order and bring it out. Get like fucking $100 on a table just because this rich guy's like, hey, you cute. Oh my God. That is some easy money. And that is a good job to have as a high schooler, in my opinion. Just fucking taking advantage of drunk rich people. Looking like your cute little self. Ay.
Yeah, that's if I had any closing remarks, because I think we're about out of time here, is I'm not saying this out of self-interest because I'm a pizza delivery guy right now. I don't really get too torn up about people not tipping very well. I don't care that much. I mean, I just kind of have the mentality, I'll get them on the next one. Like, there's going to be more, and there's going to be more opportunities to make some money. But everybody out there, if you order food, tip. If you are at a restaurant, tip a decent amount of money. I mean, 15% I think is the standard or whatever, but you know, just tip what you can. I always try to make a point of tipping 50% of the bill, because it's
50%.
like,
Jesus Christ.
Because people have been kind to me in this industry, and I want to be, kind of pay it forward in that way. So I think that, tipping big, you're gonna make somebody's fucking day. Like, and there's nothing better than that.
Aw. Oh, Carson. Yeah, don't forget to tip. Literally, it is their income. As a server, especially. I mean, more so than a pizza driver, but a server literally doesn't make fucking money. But that's not from your tips. Unless they don't get paid enough to make minimum wage, and they do get minimum wage. But tip your servers. Please.
Yeah.
Comment, like, share the video. Subscribe to our page. Let's start dreaming. My name is Mikey. I hope you have a great day, great weekend, great week, great rest of the year. Carson, do you have any closing notes besides tip your waiter?
Follow us on our Instagram at Wade and Low Key. I have a podcast on this YouTube channel that comes out every Tuesday at noon. It's called the Shock Therapy Podcast, where I just talk about goofy shit. And Mikey and I have a new song out right now called 3-Day Weekend.
3-Day Weekend.
You can stream that on Apple Music, Spotify, SoundCloud, Google Play, and YouTube. And I will put all those links in the description of this video.
Thank you, everybody. Please take a listen and have a good day. Bye! Been feeling disconnected now. I get money. No, I'm reckless now. I get high. Coming off the ground. This life is a prison. Someone let me out. Been feeling disconnected now. I get money. No, I'm reckless now. I get high. Coming off the ground. This life is a prison. Someone let me